Hey Chads, this is That Gaming Author, and welcome
You're
to...
still opening that.
The funny thing is,
Yes.
I totally forgot to do that in my last Persona episode, and I really regret it, but whatever. We're here now. Welcome to Chapter 7 of Legends of the Black Crystal, our first D&D campaign. And I say first because we'll be running a second campaign every other Friday starting this week, so that's fun. We still need an extra player, though. I think we only have 3 so far, but we can discuss that later. Anyway.
Yeah, let's play some Dangles and Dog Nuts.
Yeah, woo. Freaking Bengals and dog nuts. You know what that is. Alright. So.
No, I don't.
You might not want to.
Yeah, fair point. So, last time, you guys had arrived in the city of Olivia, or... I can't even remember my own name.
Olympe.
Olympe, yes. I combined Olympe with Orlivia, and bad things happened. But, so you guys arrived in the city of Olympe, a city that our Matthias is more or less familiar with, more familiar with the western side, since that's where he lives. More or less. I've said more or less way too many times. But you guys get the idea. Anyway, as you guys are getting situated, our Krampin had a self-inflicted wound treated at the local quote-unquote hospital. Managed to...
quote-unquote hospital, quote-unquote self-inflicted?
Oh, I am an evil storyteller. You should know this by now.
Murdering me just for not knowing things.
You didn't die.
Well, it's not
Did
any
you
worse
die?
than when I pretty much
Did
died.
you die?
Mm-hmm. I'm so glad Joe got that reference. But yeah, no, you're seriously... Yeah, you just passed out unconscious. Unconscious.
Of course I
Biggest
know that
bunger, you're
reference.
6 feet under.
And then, so after you guys got all situated and taken care of, our Krampin met a fellow old man who spoke Warlock, and they went heading towards the casino.
Wait. Don't. There's a difference. I did not speak Warlock to him.
You know what I
spoke
mean?
Minotaur.
Minotaur. It's all the same.
There's a very big difference.
Every
one's
Warlock...
magic, one's
Every Warlock in Inclusia speaks Minotaur.
No, not everyone.
Who's the author here? No, I'm totally kidding. And then, so, you met this fellow Minotaur
That took
speaking.
you off guard at first. That's why it was hilarious.
You had this fellow Minotaur speaking old man, and you guys went off to Adria's Gaming Hall, a casino here in Olympe. Matthias went on his own little journey, meeting Michael and Azael, having a very strong drink, and then passing out and waking up in the middle of nowhere, where he discovered something that no one really knows what it is, but he found it deep in this cave, and as he was discovering it, well, he ran into his old friend Azael, and then that was where we left off. Now, as we finally come back in, we are going to go ahead and go to where our Krampin and his new buddy have been going. So let me go ahead and get this started. I'll get my English back soon enough, don't worry.
Oh.
English. Speaking Minotaur here.
So, our Krampin, as you're walking through the city with your fellow Minotaur speaking old man, you guys are just kind of freaking out the townspeople as you guys are just walking through the streets. It is getting a little darker as nighttime finally settles down on the city, but this old man, who so far, as you've noticed, hasn't necessarily given you a name yet, he's just been kind of talking with you, telling you that the city almost comes to life at night, especially when it comes to this particular place, Adria's Gaming Hall. And
Wait, what a selection of music to pair with that.
yeah, no, this is literally a casino theme from a Dragon Quest game.
Nice. I was gonna say, I'm like, yep, sounds like a busy thing.
Yep. And with that, you guys are making your way towards the northwest section of the city. An area that you haven't necessarily seen yet since you've been on the southwest area, kind of heading towards the west a little bit. Mostly just because, you know, that's where all the shops are and that's where the quote-unquote hospital was. And then, as you guys are walking, this old man, he kind of nudges you and points forward, and he's like, and he gestures towards this towering building with all sorts of lights kind of flickering around it. And as someone who's been more accustomed to the countryside of Olivia, having spent a lot of your life in a cave, you're surprised to see a place with so much electricity, like, lighting this building. There are all these circular lights just kind of flashing and twinkling. There's a large neon sign in very cursive-looking writing that just says Adria's. And this building is standing at about 3 stories tall, and it spreads about 40 feet. This is quite a large building that you're walking up to. And this old man just kind of smiles, and he goes, and he's like, so, want to play?
Yes, let us shall.
Do you say that in Common or Minotaur?
Minotaur.
Alright.
It's just easier just to be translative.
Yeah, that makes sense. And he's like, and he like, frigging pumps his fist up and guides you inside the casino. And the moment you walk in, just this waft of tobacco and alcohol goes in and hits your nose. And as you're looking around, the place is surprisingly empty. There aren't a lot of patrons here at this time of day. Like, there are some stragglers kind of walking out, like, hanging on each other's shoulders, kind of swaying, and singing music. And you can, speaking of music, you can kind of hear light string music being played somewhere in the casino. You actually aren't sure if it's inside here, or if it's coming from the theater district on the other side of town, where you can basically hear music all night. But walking in is just kind of an attack on the senses. The lights are incredibly bright. The torch lights lining the walls are flickering not only like the regular red and orange flames, but you see like blue and white flames, like purple and black flames. All assortments of different colored flames lining these torches. And as you guys go ahead and walk in, this young halfling man who goes about up to your waist in height. He's pretty short. He goes ahead and walks up and looks up at you guys, and he's wearing like this like red velvet vest over a white blouse. He's got like a little curled pencil mustache and like a little goatee. And he just kind of looks up at you, holds his hands out in front of you and bows, and he goes, "Welcome to Adria's Gaming Hall. Would you two like a place to sit?"
Yes, let us sit.
And then the old man's like, and the old man is like, for the first time hearing him in common, he goes, "Yes, I agree." And then the halfling man's like, "All right, right this way, young man." And then the old man next to you kind of nudges you, and he's just in Minotaur. He whispers, "Rah, rah, rah." He's like, "He called us old men, or young men." My apologies.
The dude may be blind.
Crampon, go ahead and make a perception check.
Oh fuck. Alright, it doesn't matter what I add, it's gonna be freaking low. Alright, perception. Oh, alright. 8.
So, like, after this old man had said that, you go ahead and look at your hands, and you actually notice less wrinkles on them. You go ahead and kind of, you roll up your sleeves, and your arms look a lot, like, buffer and stronger than they used to be. And as you glance back up at the old man with you, he suddenly has a much younger face. His beard is no longer white. It is now black, but it's cut very short, kind of just lining his chin. And he's got like a bit
Where
of
are my wrinkles?
and then he just goes, "Relax, just be young tonight and have fun." And he goes ahead and follows this halfling towards your guys' table. Do you go ahead and follow after him?
Absolutely.
Alright, cool. So, you guys go ahead and sit down at your table, and thankfully, with it being so empty in here, it isn't difficult to find a table. The halfling man goes ahead and gestures for you guys to sit down, and he goes, "You may participate in any of the games whenever you wish, but if there's anything you'd like, feel free to let us know." And he gestures at the table where you can see a couple menus laid out. And glancing at the menu, you can see there isn't a really large amount of food served at this place in particular. There's like like they do have various options of things like spaghetti. They even have a platter of rabbit meat and like just kind of your choice of deer or bear. And then they have various ales along with water and milk. And the old man besides you.
Yes!
The old man besides you goes, 2 glasses of milk, please.
Absolutely.
Then the halfling man's like, all right, and will that be all?
No, one of every kind of meat.
And the halfling man, glancing at him, he actually doesn't even seem surprised. He just kind of smiles, and he just says, very well, I shall get you every kind of meat, and 2 glasses of milk. I will be right back. He goes ahead and takes your menus and just kind of bows at both of you and walks off. And looking at the old man next to you, just kind of has a shoulder over the back of the chair he's sitting at, and he goes, I haven't been here in a long time. Have you ever been to a casino?
Not to my recollection.
And he kind of gives you a sideways glance, and he goes, not to your recollection. You have some form of memory loss.
Yeah. I don't know if my beard is still on me. Have a mirror anywhere? But I have a symbol of my beard. Ever since it has been on my beard, I have lost all memory of prior of that.
I see. And the old man kind of strokes his shorter black beard, and he kind of looks up and glances into the crowd, and then he looks at you and he goes, well, I suppose there's no use in waiting. Why not try one of the games? And he gestures towards a table about 5 feet to your right, and at it you can see there are numerous people kind of standing around this table, and you can see 2 people arm wrestling, and they're just going at it. And at the table you can see this goblin woman just completely decimating everyone, and as you're looking at it, she just kind of gives you a glance, and she just kind of smirks and gestures for you to come over to the table.
Yes, I would like to go challenge her to the arm wrestling match.
Alright, now, one moment here. Gotta do something real quick. I programmed a bunch of side, mini games, so I'm just getting this one prepared.
Oh, great, lovely. It's too bad it's not like a video game. We're just just keep tapping! They updated the D&D websites 2
Nice.
weeks ago.
Alright. So, as you go ahead and walk into the, walk to this arm wrestling table, Amelia, would you like to go ahead and describe the goblin he sees?
So I actually, in all of the time it took to get the game going, I did a quick sketch of her that I will share for you.
Yes.
But in short, what you see before you is a particularly small, extremely unattractive, even by goblin standards. She's only about 3'9", and probably the most outrageously buff goblin you have ever seen in your life.
I'd walk up to her and be like, hey, what's cooking? Good looking!
With the picture that I just shared.
Oh, yeah.
You notice that she has bows in her slightly matted hair and has attempted to blush her nose and is wearing a bright pink skirt and a crop top. And
She looks like a mixture of Buttercup and Shrek.
yeah, it's not a good looking combination by any means. But
And Kratos.
Oh my god.
Oh, Jesus! That is amazing.
I'm putting this in OBS because that is amazing. Yeah, that's that will be
Best thing.
that is Amelia's new character.
So this goblin woman looks up at our Krampin as he approaches, and she smiles a kind of a half smile, and she says, "Are ya here to challenge me?"
Absolutely.
She slams her massive fist on the table and holds it out, ready to go. You might notice that she has a pile of money from her current winnings off to the side of the table.
Ooh. Are we wagering, or?
Oh yeah, and then you actually see a man by the table. He gestures towards the table and he goes, "If you'd like to enter, you do have to bet a minimum of 5 copper. You can feel free to bet more, but winner takes all."
Okay. Where is? Oh, here we go. 5 copper, you say?
Indeed.
All right. Deal. I will enter 5 copper.
All right.
Posey will match that.
All right. Cool. So you guys both go ahead and set 5 copper down, and with that, you go ahead and sit across from each other. And also, someone followed. Thank you very much, Demon Wisp. I heard that notification. I have Travis Willingham screaming, "What the fuck is my follow notifications?" which is amazing. And so, you guys go ahead and sit across from each other. Honor Krampin, your old buddy here, is sitting across from you and just kind of clapping and, like, in Minotaurs going, and what you know is, "Oh, Krampin! Oh, Krampin!" Alright. So, you guys go ahead and... You guys go ahead and grab each other's hands and, like, set your elbows down, and the man at the table is like, "Alright, ready, set, go." Both of you go ahead and make a strength check.
Straight. Is that like the saving throw?
It's just a general strength check, so you roll a d20 and add whatever you have for...
Yeah, I don't have anything. Oh shit. I got 9.
22 for Posey.
Ooh. So,
Shit.
our Krampin...
just get like flung across the room.
Our Krampin, like, the moment you, like, flex your arms, nothing really happens, and Posey just slams your hand right up against the table. And, like...
Again!
And then the man at the table's like, "Alright, but you must bet another 5 copper if you wish to play again."
No, really?
Mm-hmm.
Again!
Alright.
I will bid 10 copper this time.
Oh!
Posey will match it with her winnings from this, the one she already beat.
Alright, fair enough.
I got that removed. I
Alright.
am updating that in the D&D.
Perfect. So you guys go ahead and both put down 10 copper, and
Yep.
that, the man at the table, he goes, "Alright, ready, set, go." Go ahead and make another strength check, both of you.
And
I've got a 20 this time. Not a natural. Dirty 20.
I got another 9!
So this time...
So, can I describe this real quick?
Oh, absolutely, go ahead.
Okay, so this time, when our Krampin flexes, Posey, like, super over-dramatically starts letting him win and starts saying things like, "Oh, the old man is so strong! I can't! And then she just slams him down onto the other side.
And then...
God damn it!
Our Krampin, you now take 1 point of bludgeoning damage, having, like, just with the sheer strength of this incredibly buff goblin ear.
Ouch!
What is going on? I'm just amazed at how this quickly just... Like, I know I'm not in the story right now, but what the hell?
Right? Oh my god.
Oh my god, someone coming in like out of context would be like so weirded out. Like, what is happening?
Here's
Meanwhile,
the thing.
like for our Krampin, this is completely fucking normal.
Here's the thing. I do know the context, and I still have no idea.
Oh my gosh.
Our Krampin is random, therefore everything that happens around him is random.
Oh, absolutely. mean, with
But if everything is random, is that not normal?
ooh,
Exactly.
getting philosophical here. All right,
Maybe weird to some, but maybe weird to some is normal to others.
true. And then with that, the old man next to you notices you, and he goes, and he's like, "Hey, do it again."
Fine. Okay, I'm gonna bid 50 copper.
Oh, all right.
15?
Posey
15.
happily matches that.
All right, so thought you go ahead and drop another 50 copper on the table. Both of you do, and then the man at the table goes, "All right, ready, set, go." Both of you make strength checks.
Okay, 18.
Oh shit!
Wait, did you both get 18?
Yes!
All right, so
I
this
rolled
time,
an 18.
our Crampin, as wait, oh yeah, because you have 0 strength. So our Crampin, you and this goblin are just at each other, and like suddenly just hearing like that, just hearing your friend tell you to do again. You're like, all right, I'm doing this for my friend, and you do it, and you're like, your arm is straining, but somehow you're keeping it up, and everyone's just kind of looking around at awe and just wondering what in the world is going on. And like suddenly, this crazy old man, or well, to everyone else, you appear young right now, but how you're just somehow holding the super buff goblin back. Go ahead and make another strength check, both of you.
Come on, please!
Natural 20!
You're not gonna believe this.
What?
Me too.
Oh my god!
Yes! I love this so much.
So it's like
I'm like, you're not gonna believe this, but no way.
it's getting intense now. It's like freaking you guys are like standing up
I'm
off
just
your
like
chairs.
slamming my hand on the table, just like
You guys are like standing up off the tables, like your backs hunched, and you're just like staring intensely into each other's eyes, trying to knock each other down. And go ahead and make another strength check, both of you.
Please.
Oh, yeah, baby, 23.
Fuck. 5.
Wow. Oh wow. So it's like, Crampin, you have used up all of your strength, and just the moment your muscle gives in, you feel a spasm in your bicep, and you're like, ah! Like you scream it, like you just get this pain shooting up your arm, and then your hand is just slammed on the table.
Alright, how
This is
much money
bullshit.
can I just make?
So, counting all of that, so you just made 65 copper.
$130.
That was 65 copper you've just made. All in total. Oh wait, no. Wait, no.
Well,
From
no,
him.
because the last one was 50.
Yeah, I was counting from you
So it went
specifically.
100.
Yeah,
Then
from
yeah.
you, yeah. So yeah, I forgot to double it, yeah.
Swanky doodle dandy.
Yeah. And with that, just everyone
I
around,
get up and I go in the face. I thought you were gonna help me out.
and the old man's like, he shrugs and he goes, he's like, you did good on your own, man.
I lost.
Posey comes up and slaps you really hard on the back. And says, "You're pretty strong for an old man. Can I buy you a drink?"
Yes, you can. Thank you.
And she'll throw Cinder to buy our Crampin a drink.
Alright. Awesome. So you go ahead and gather your...
Put my food on her tab.
And actually, yeah, as you can see, as you guys are going out and leaving the table, you can see that your food has been delivered. 2 cups of milk and every type of meat they serve at this casino. But with that, Posey, you go ahead and guide our Crampin to the bar here, and it's a very modest bar. It's pretty close to the dining area where everyone's sitting, so it's not at all far from this arm wrestling table they have here. And you can see, like, behind you, kind of a immediate sigh of relief as they see this freaking buff goblin just walking away from the table, and everyone's like, alright, we can stand a chance now, and they're starting to go ahead and actually properly play again. And you go ahead and walk up to the bar, and you can see this kobold walk up, and he's like, alright, what'll it be?
Chocolate.
I'm sorry, you cut out. Did you say just chocolate or chocolate milk?
Chocolate milk.
Okay. And the kobold shakes his head and he's like, "We don't have that non-alcoholic shit here."
Fine then. I'll take a rum.
Alright. And you? And he looks at you, Posey.
Crickets?
Hello?
If you were talking to me, you cut out and I didn't hear it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I was just saying you guys arrived at the bar, and the kobold here is asking what you guys would like.
Loaf of bread,
Alright.
uncut.
Sounds good. And the kobold goes ahead and turns around and begins preparing your guys' food here. And as you guys are, the other old man who's been kind of walking around with our Krampin walks up with 3 plates of the meat from their table, and he's like carrying 2 of them on one arm. And he goes ahead and just kind of plops them down in front of the bar, and the kobold turns towards him and he goes, "We don't, that's," and then he just goes, "Rrr!" And the kobold's like, whatever. And he goes ahead and turns back around and continues working on it. And then the old man looks at you, Posey, and goes, "Well, that was quite a show. Do you do this sort of thing for a living?"
They don't call me Posey the Bone Breaker for nothing.
Fair enough. And he goes in and claps our Krampin on the shoulder and goes, "Well, this man hasn't been to a casino, so I thought it'd be fun for him to see what it's like to gamble when the odds are against you."
Haha, you're not wrong there.
You obviously don't know who I am. Speaking of which, who are you?
Well, I actually am the only one here who has introduced themselves, so...
Hi, I'm Art Krampin. I'm trying to figure out who this guy is.
And actually, as you're gesturing towards him, he's actually no longer there.
Well then, maybe I have lost my mind.
And then the kobold at the bar turns back around. He gives you your rum, and then he gives Posey the bread that she ordered. And before you, you both also have 3 plates of meat. One has a plate of deer kind of pulled into like strips of jerky. One of them is like this mound of turkey, almost like a Thanksgiving turkey, but it's like pocket sized, I suppose you could say. And then the third is just well-cooked rabbit stew, really. And the kobold just looks at those dishes and he goes, "Well, if you're gonna eat, let's do it at one of the tables. We don't like having food soiling the bar here."
That makes no sense.
And he just looks you right in the face and he goes, "You make no sense."
That is also true. But this is food. It's bar. It's where things happen and eat.
"Not this bar." And he goes ahead and pulls out a rag. But looking at it, it is an incredibly dirty rag, and he begins kind of cleaning the wooden bar in front of you with it.
Well, fine then. Come on, Posey. And I want to go back to the table.
Alright, and then Posey, do you go and follow?
She does. She has already stuffed the entire loaf of bread into her mouth, though, so she doesn't say anything.
Fair enough. So you guys go
At
ahead.
least you have your manners. As though just like to just take up a piece of me and just rip it right off of, like, just with my bare.
Alright. So as you do, and you go ahead and sit down, you go ahead and look at the glass of milk that was already set down for you, and you can see that there's actually a small folded piece of paper on the note, on the glass. Do you pick that up?
Yes.
Alright. You open it up, and it says, "Give that glass on your staff of yours a second chance." And below it, it just has the letter A.
A?
A.
Hey,
A.
hey.
That's it? It just says A?
Yeah.
A!
Are we
Alright.
reciting the alphabet here? Because I know the next one.
All right. I would like to put that glass of milk onto my staff.
All right. Oh, so you replace, so you like replace the glass that was already there and put that on there, and you go and tie it up real quick. And Posey, you're just kind of watching this whole thing happen as he like takes this empty glass that was previously on his wooden staff and or that looks more like a tree branch, but he's using it as a staff, and he goes ahead and ties this new glass of milk to it and just fastens it all tightly.
Yeah, that's probably normal, right?
Yes, yes, it is.
Great.
All right.
Do you drink it, or does it just stay there?
Yes,
Great.
yes.
Or Crampin, go ahead and make a perception check for me.
A perception. All right. Oh, is there a tracking device in the glass of milk? Fuck! Could you not be easy fucking rolls to what check?
Perception.
Oh, great.
Someone sounds like
a
they need
good old
dice
8
jail.
there.
Oh, okay, cool. I just
Good old
wanted
8.
I just wanted to make sure. So, you do see some people kind of beginning to come into the casino, but as far as you can tell, they're all just patrons looking to have a good time at the rest of the games going on here. And you can actually see some people dressed in very noble gear, like very smooth suede suits. Some of them wearing large fur coats that you don't see here on the first floor of Olympe. And as they see you sitting with Posey, they just kind of glance at Posey for a second, and then just kind of walk away.
With an 8?
Are there other
You
games
noticed
in this
that?
casino?
Oh yeah, kind of glancing around, you can see a lot of people going around and playing the other games. So you can see there are a few roulette wheels, and then there are some people playing various card games at their tables.
What? Do you have an idea of what we shall do?
What are you good at?
That is an excellent question.
Does it have an answer, or are we just going with whatever?
That is yes.
Cool. I wouldn't suggest the roulette wheel. I'm pretty sure it's rigged. You might have more luck with the other stuff.
All right, let's go check out the cards.
All right. So you guys go ahead and get up and head towards the card tables. They're a little to the right of where you guys were holding the arm wrestling tournament, and they're just a bunch of wooden tables kind of laid out in rows all along the casino area. And the main person kind of running these tables tells you about two of these games. So one of them is a somewhat simple game called On Your Luck. So essentially, it's a game where you kind of see who draws the higher deck. Hang on, let me go. It's been way too long since I looked at my notes. So basically, you draw 3 cards, and once you draw them, you can either keep your hand or replace, or like take one card and replace it with another, and then the person with the highest deck wins. So it's pretty simple. And the way it would work in this is that you guys would roll 3d4s, and you can either keep your roll or you can replace one of your rolls and see if you can get a higher one, and the person with the highest ones win. And then
is it like 3d4s like at one time, or is it
yeah, at one
one
time
after another? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Because the
Great.
d4s
I don't have that.
The d4s kind of act as your cards.
I only have one d4.
So you can just roll it 3 times and keep track of the ones you roll, like maybe like write them down real quick.
Yep. All right. I'll have like a notebook.
All right, and then there is another card game. It is they call it Olympe's Blackjack. It's more or less the same as this one. So you try you're dealt 2 cards and you try to get to 21, and of course if you exceed that you bust. But You do want to try to get up to 21. In this one, you're not competing with another player. You're competing with the house.
Like blackjack.
Yeah.
Let's play some blackjack.
All right. So as you are both walking towards it, the representative there is like this. It's this rather short, dark elven man. And he's just kind of sitting there, and he goes, "Welcome to Olympe's Blackjack. Which one of you would like to play first?"
I'm gonna pass. I've had it for today.
All right, fair enough. And what about you, young man? And he looks at you, Arkrampin.
It's been a while since I've been called that, I believe. So sure.
All right, sounds good. So, minimum bet is 2 SP, or 2 silver. And you can choose to increase that if you'd like. And he goes ahead and sets down 2 silver.
I would like to bid 3 silver.
All right, and he goes ahead and sets down another silver. And he goes, all right, is that it?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. So, with that, go ahead and roll 2d6s. Don't tell me what you get, though. Just roll 2d6s and write down the results.
I'm gonna put them there.
All right.
All right, and then whenever, you get what you want, and then you can say, hit me, and you can roll another d6. But just let me know before you do, of course.
I would like to roll another d6.
All right, go ahead and roll.
All right. I would like to roll again.
All right, so you go ahead and pull, he gives you another card, and then he gets another card.
Alright, gosh darn it. I would like to stay where I'm at.
All right, and then he is going to continue. All right, and he's decided he's going to stay as well. So what was your end total?
I'm at 19.
Oh, all right. So then that means you go ahead and win 6 silver, because his was only 15.
Yay! Oh, then I could have won a while ago. I didn't have to roll again. Awesome.
But still, it is good to get as close as you can to 21, just to see. And then once you guys finish, he goes, well done. Would you like to play again?
Nah.
All right. Thank you for playing, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your stay.
Thank you.
All right. And both of you go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Perception.
4.
15.
All right. Not bad. So, as you go ahead and get up off the table, out of the corner of your eye, you can actually see a few people in armor. It looks like they're wearing the gray armor of the Olympe military. These are soldiers who work for the regent, who prefers calling himself the Chancellor for reasons not many people understand. But you can see these people in armor with long gray coats underneath, and they're kind of whispering at each other and glancing towards you. And you see 2 of them kind of begin to walk towards you.
Ooh, that's not good. What's my options here?
So right now you're just at the card tables of this casino, and you're more or less surrounded by people. Again, there aren't too many patrons, but there are definitely more than there were earlier.
I would like to try to sell drugs to everyone.
Oh my
All right.
God.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Persuasion.
Oh, no.
Oh god. Come on. Oh no!
Oh no.
Can I assist him by standing menacingly behind them, so that they feel concerned that if they don't buy the drugs, there's going to be a problem.
Oh yeah, sure thing. So then with that being the case, since she is assisting, you just do a regular roll. So you just roll 1d20.
Oh. I've already even mathed out the alright.
Alright, so you can take the higher of the two rolls that you made if you already did.
Alright. Yeah. Alright, it was 8. Well, the first one was higher, so it's fine. Alright, 8. I am having a 12, I'm at. 12.
Alright.
Took me a sec.
So you kind of talk to Posey a little bit about your career, and I say that with air quotes. You guys can't see me, but I said...
Yeah.
But, like, she just kind of finds...
I go around selling drugs to people, and and people say I'm insane and crazy and a monster because I also sell the drugs to children and animals. I once sold like hallucinogenic mushrooms to a deer.
Nice. Did he have a good time?
Oh, I sold it to him for $1, and he was tripping.
But was that $1 as in, like, their mate? Because that would be a little weird.
Don't question me. Let's just go.
Sold it for $1, so you got $1 in return. Alright, so you two go around trying to sell drugs to the various patrons here at the casino, and as someone is trying to hand you the gold to receive payments, a hand grabs your wrist and pulls it behind your back, and grabs your other arm and pulls behind your back. And, you can see one of the graycoats. You're kind of like binding your hands behind your back, and he goes, "Excuse me, sir. We'd like you to come with us."
Is there a problem here?
Can't you wait until the transaction is finished?
The graycoat shakes his head, glances at the people you're trying to sell the drugs at, and they're just now avoiding eye contact. And then the graycoat pulls out like this transparent stone from his pocket, and he whispers into it, and he's like, "All right, we got him. We'll bring him in." And he goes and puts the stone back into his pocket, and goes,
"What? This isn't the future!"
And he looks at you, and he's like pulling you along, and he goes, "We received word that you have been selling drugs at the local hospital, and, well, we see you doing it here now, which is an unbelievably stupid idea. So, we would like you to go ahead and come with us."
This isn't stupid! This is insanity! I plead insanity! You hear me?
That might actually be true.
And the graycoats just says, "Well, I'm just following orders. Don't worry, you won't be getting the death penalty or anything. We just want to bring you in for questioning why you're here in Olympe. You don't look like a local, necessarily." And, Posey, what you saw earlier, you actually saw that he almost looked clean-shaven. His beard was shaved down to a black goatee with kind of like a pencil mustache, and like he had black hair kind of slicked back, but now his outward appearance has changed, so like this long-haired, long-bearded old man with like a symbol of an eye burned into the beard.
Okay.
And then the graycoat actually looks at you, and he goes, "Were you part of these sales?"
Nah, I just met this guy tonight, kicked his ass on the tables.
Oh, thanks!
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Why don't you also tell them how I lost 60-something bucks?
Yeah, it was pretty great.
She jingles her pockets. That is a natural 1.
And the graycoat goes, "No, you're coming with us too."
Alright, ain't got anything better to do.
Alright, so with that...
Do you see the size of this person? Do you think a cell could hold this person? You're insane.
The graycoat doesn't say anything. He just goes ahead and continues dragging you out of the casino with Posey following behind.
Yeah.
Hey, don't ignore me. Don't you know it takes one to know one? Every time I go to speak, I'm just like struggling just to get out of the ring.
If you want to, you can go ahead and make a strength check to see.
I could get out of this if I wanted to.
Oh no. Don't make it any
I
worse.
just want to see where this goes.
No.
Yeah, go ahead and make a strength check and see if you can get out.
You're gonna get like
Alright.
tased or something. He's gonna pull back out
Tased?
a stone. He just pulled out a stone and started talking to it.
14.
Yeah, so you go ahead and try to struggle, and you're like squirming free, and the gray coat here, like he's got quite a firm grip on the rope that's tied around your wrists, and yeah, your arms are not going anywhere. You do like slightly kind of dislocate your shoulder trying to do it, and you hear that pain, and then but like as a crazy old man, you just snap it back into place, and it's just yeah, there's no escaping that.
Well then. Let us go.
All right. So, with that, there is another place we haven't quite gone to. Deep within the mountains of Olympe, Matthias had been making his way towards a pass that he found himself awakened for some reason. He didn't necessarily know why he was there, but he just traveled through here, went through a strange cave, and found a chamber deep within. Within this chamber was just this pit of darkness, and he reached inside, and this darkness started crawling up his arm, but he didn't feel any hint of malevolence coming from this. But as he was doing this, he hears footsteps, and behind him comes a familiar friend. The man in the suit, Azael. He looks at Matthias as he is reaching into this darkness. And as he does, he goes, "You found her." He goes ahead and jumps off the cliff that was behind you, and he begins walking towards you. And he goes ahead and kind of moves his finger towards the darkness, but as it does, there's like this and a flash occurs, and he quickly retracts his finger. And he looks at you, Matthias, and he goes, "Do you know what this is?"
I have a feeling.
Azael kind of backs off and nods and crosses his arms, and he just kind of smiles, and he goes, "Ah yes, it's the very thing our good friend Michael lives for." And you can actually feel something solidifying in the palm of your hand with your hand in this darkness. You can feel kind of this smooth, almost glass-like formation forming in your hand, and your fingers wrap around it, and it's not very large at all. It's hardly large. It's hardly wider than the hilt of a sword. But you can feel it. You can't necessarily pull it, but you can feel this cold energy emitting from it. But the more you begin to feel it, the more familiar and kind of warm it feels. And as Azael just kind of stares at you, he goes, "I'm surprised it was here. This isn't where that old bastard John documented it would be." And he begins kind of pacing around the cave, and he goes, "But why you? You were hardly invited." And he glances up at you, and he goes, "What do you think this is?"
Depending on the person, it's either a curse or a blessing.
And Azael just kind of laughs a little bit, and he goes, "All right, definitely depends on the person." And he goes ahead and backs up against the cliffside behind him, and he goes, "Would you let me see it?"
I hold out my arm.
Alright, you go ahead and try to pull it, but as you do, there's resistance in the darkness that's keeping your hand in this pit of darkness surrounding you. And as you're trying to pull it out, you don't actually see your arm moving. You can feel your muscles moving, trying to get it out, but to Azael, it looks like nothing's happening. And he just kind of growls below his breath, or under like his breath, and you can see his eyes flash for a second. They go from purple and they kind of briefly flash yellow and red before going back to purple again. And he goes ahead and walks towards you, and he goes, "Where's the crystal?" He goes ahead and reaches into the darkness again, like this time with his entire hand. And in this bright flash and this sound, his hand, he quickly retracts it, and you can see like burn marks all across his palm.
I don't think she likes you very much.
And like
Gee.
you can hear like him growling just below his breath, and he goes, "Of course she wouldn't." And he backs off, and he reaches behind himself and begins sheathing this long sword with a black blade, and you can see like this intricate design of a snake, or what appears to be a purple snake, on the flat of the blade, spiraling up. And at the top of the snake is another body. It appears to be a small demonic body with like leathery wings, like just pointed ears and like yellow eyes. And it's this very intricate design on this sword with a design you've never seen, or made out of material you've never seen before. And he goes ahead and points it at you, and he goes, "Well, tell her to give me the crystal."
Think carefully about your next action.
Ooh, go ahead and make an intimidation check.
What is happening?
I know, it went from like hilarious, to fucking like epicness, like epic drama, like action, and like compare it with the music. It's just like, dude, it's like you're trying to set it up for like it fits.
That's a 22.
Yes! That's what I'm talking about.
Zale, he's still holding his sword at you, and like you can see his eyebrow kind of twitch a little, and
I was gonna say, please tell me that bastard flinches.
he steps back and he's like, "Very well." He turns around, lifts his sword over his head, and tries to slash into this darkness. And you can actually feel the darkness pulse around you at this force, and it's almost like a wave around your arm. And the crystal in your hand kind of begins emitting this warm glow, and you can kind of feel it pulsating on your palm. And you see the sword, like a crack form on the edge of the blade as he tries allowing the blade to collide with this darkness. And he just kind of grunts in frustration and like throws his fist down. He's like, "What the hell? Chancellor told me it would be here." And he glares at you and he goes, "How? How would you put your arm in this?"
You really think she would stand with this? Really?
He just shakes his head and slashes at the darkness again. Another slash and another crack forms further into the flat of the blade. And as this is happening, you can feel the darkness kind of loosen its grip on your arm, and you can now move it freely again.
If he tries to hit it again, I would like to grab the blade with my hand.
Alright. So with that, he doesn't actually notice...
The hand that's free.
Yeah.
I should know.
So he doesn't actually see your arm in the darkness go limp, but he goes ahead, and this time he actually goes ahead and is going to try to hit you in the face with his elbow. So let's go ahead and have him roll an attack, since that is unarmed. Oh, that's not happening. So he goes ahead and swings his elbow at you, but you see it coming just in time and just quickly dodge out of the way. And with that, what do you do?
I would like to... I'll just grab my dagger in my belt and I'll hit him with that.
Alright, go ahead and roll for attack.
Going for the stab.
Okay. The good stab. The stab lad.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, you are a woman. You are a stab lad.
That hits. 23.
Wow, was that a natural 20 or was that 23 in total?
That is 23 in total. The actual roll was a 9.
Okay, got it. So go ahead and roll damage because that absolutely hits.
Right.
This poor guy.
Come on,
Five.
get that pass.
It's not a crit, unfortunately.
It was good. I almost got there. I rolled a 3 on a d4.
Oh, wow, not bad. So
Yeah.
he goes ahead and takes 3 points of slashing damage. I had a math there for a second because I'm terrible at that. So you go ahead and, with your free hand, you go ahead and quickly play your dagger. You stab into him and the blade sinks into like the side of his stomach and you pull it out. And instead of blood, you can see kind of black smoke emitting from the wound.
That's enough.
And he just growls again, and he shakes his head, and he just kind of smiles, and he goes, "You're not the one who calls these shots." And he's going to go ahead and make a slash at you. That is a 17 to hit.
Beautiful. How much damage is that?
That hits? Alright, so...
Yeah, it does.
Alright, so let's get that damage going.
Just going back and forth.
Alright, so this sword goes ahead and slashes across your chest, and it is you take 6 points of slashing damage.
Alright.
And now that he's kind of knocked you away from this darkness, he can see your arm kind of jerk away from the darkness, and in that quick flash, both you and he can see the black crystal there in your hand.
I tighten my grip on the crystal to pack my fist while I attempt an unarmed strike with that particular fist.
Alright, go ahead and roll attack.
Whoa, so you're gonna punch him with the crystal?
Yes! What I'm doing.
Be like,
Alright.
you son of a
Dude, you're gonna cause a black hole!
That's a 19.
Ooh,
Oh,
That
shit.
absolutely hits. So unarmed strike, that's
Son
just
of-
1 damage, right? Or hang
That's
on.
2 damage.
2 damage, yeah, because things. Alright. So.
Oh,
Wow.
fucking black crystal makes it should make him just like dissipate.
So as you go ahead and swing with the black crystal in your hand, you punch him, and this wave of darkness comes out from your fist and kind of like splashes across his face, almost like water. And you can hear this sizzling coming from his skin, and he's like screaming, grasping. And he takes. Go ahead and roll an extra d4.
An extra d4.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
gets a 1.
That's a nat 4.
Yeah!
Wow.
All right. Wow. And so he takes an additional 4 points of damage here, as you can see, like these burn marks in his face, in like the side of his face, and his eyes closed now, or his eyes are closed, and he just glares at you, and you can actually see the eyes of the winged creature on his sword kind of begin to glow yellow, and from the sword you can hear a voice say, "Go and kill him." And Azael just glares at you, and he is going to go ahead and he's going to go ahead and hold his sword up into the air, and you can see this like dark purple fire kind of spitting out from the top, and all around the cave this fire is like creating this field around both of you. And with that, he has, like, with the circle around you, your speed has been halved. And go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
He's a rogue. He should be good at that.
Yeah, in fact. 25.
Heck
Yep.
yeah.
All right.
I thought of something funnier than 24.
My goodness. So you only take 2 points of fire damage
Beauteous.
as this circle comes down around you two, and like Azael goes in and brings his sword back down in front of his face, and you can see this face on his sword, like this very demonic-looking face with these yellow eyes, and you can see, like in the darkness, like his lips begin to curl up and open into this wide grin,
Joker.
and he just goes, "Hello, Matthias."
Was this a fucking Finn sword?
Hello.
Person in the sword.
So with that, what do you do?
Oh, okay.
What's up,
Hmm.
fucker?
Spit on him.
Let's see. I think
Spit on him.
I'm gonna punch the sword with my black crystal hand.
All right, go ahead and roll for attack.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, a rogue punching? What is this?
Okay. Of the Black Crystal universe.
18.
All right, so you go
You know what
ahead
I
and
mean?
you go ahead and swing
Brutal.
towards this blade, but as you do, like a hand reaches out from the blade and grabs your fist, and it's like this.
What?
It's like this tiny impish hand, and you can see the form from the sword coming out. It's this black imp form, and it's beginning to float, and its wings begin
Is it
to
Bob?
grow. There's this giant purple fire just like emitting from his flames, and you can see his body beginning to grow taller and taller. He looks the same, but he's just growing in size. And
Can I make a comment right quick? This whole scene reminds me of the beginning of Kingdom Hearts.
I totally understand what you're talking about, honestly. It does.
Me too.
Yeah, but before you can see the full... Go ahead and make a history check, actually.
3. Did I? Oh, I didn't press it. 6.
Oh,
Alright.
no. There go all his good
Oof.
Before you do actually recognize...
Yeah, you're good at the strengths and the saving throws, but the moment you need to be smart,
You do see this figure, and he just kind of smiles, and he goes, "It's only been a few days, but it feels like it's been forever." And he just looks at you with a smile, and he goes, "Remember me?" And he's going to go ahead and make a claw attack at you. Oh, yeah, that doesn't happen. That's only an 8.
damn it.
This
Damn
has
it,
to be
Bob.
fucking Bob.
That's what I said. I'm like, is it Bob?
He goes ahead
He
and
said imp.
he goes ahead and tries to slash across your face, but you just quickly dodge right out of the way. And with that, it is now your turn. What would you like to do?
God. All right.
Fucking kill him. Sorry, Bob, but you have to die.
No! Bob! Who else will occupy my staff
Your milk.
besides milk? What if I spill my milk again?
I have a question. Is the black crystal still in my possession?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. I would like to place it in between my index finger and the guard of my rapier and stab the motherfucker.
Are you talking about Azael or this giant imp creature?
The giant.
Alright, go ahead and roll an attack.
Okay.
I knew Bob would take over the world. Good for him.
That's a 21.
Oh, wow. So you go ahead and stab forward, but as the black crystal goes ahead and enters this imp's body, you can see kind of this, the image of him kind of flicker and wave a little bit, and it has no effect.
Garbage.
It's a mirage.
And Azael, he, like, as that happens, he just kind of laughs a little bit, And he goes, I should have explained. This is but an image of, what did they call you? And the imp goes, yes, they once called me Bob. Little did they know. My real name is Kaisuriel Almondrog. And the image just kind of flickers and fades away, and he appears back on Azael's sword. And he glares at you, Matthias, and he goes, we are bringing the real god to the monument of fallen gods to the east. So far, our comrades are already making their way as we speak. If you plan on meeting us there, you have 30 days. Choose wisely, good friend. And he goes ahead and vanishes in this puff of black smoke, leaving you standing alone in this cave with the black crystal in hand.
Holy shit.
I can't help but laugh about how what something started as a joke is now like it was like a big old villain.
Mm.
I can't help but laugh.
Honestly, that was my plan the entire time.
It's just like it started as like a joke. I didn't even take it seriously the first time I brought it up.
I just...
Oh, so funny.
I'm very happy with the story arc you're giving my characters. Thank you.
So yeah, you're just...
I'm very, very happy with this.
I felt like it was very fitting for your character.
God damn it,
Yeah,
Rob.
especially how we got this thing where you know that I know, but nobody else knows.
Exactly. So,
And I know only because I made an assumption and turned out to be right.
so, Matthias, with you sitting here in this cave, you look at the crystal in your hand, and it begins to kind of flicker and glow, and you can feel the darkness kind of wrapping around your arm again. Only this time, it makes it all the way up to your head. And let me go ahead and do something real quick. So as it's happening, you can see, like, the vision around you begins to slowly fade away. And as it does, you begin to see a different vision of somewhere else. You know it's definitely not where you are in person, but you can see fields of dead trees and like murky swamps. And in the swamp, you can see groups of people atop horses, and leading them, you recognize to be the woman Eileen that you had all fought back in Hooded River, and she is carrying the seemingly paralyzed body of who you once knew as Bob on her horse, and she is bringing him to this stone temple in the middle of this swamp. And then the vision fades away, and then when it returns, you can see the dark interior of this stone temple, and you can see Eileen place Bob onto this high altar, and she looks up, and you can see two other imps on the ceiling of this temple, and they begin pulling away two stones on the ceiling, and you can even hear the rumbling of the stone against stone. A light emerges from the ceiling and surrounds the table that Bob is laying on, and you can see this bright glow beginning to surround him, almost like golden fire, and his body begins raising up towards the ceiling, and as it is, it's beginning to grow. But it's not the form you had seen in this cave. It's beginning to grow human arms and human legs and a human body. And his
all that's missing is like chanting.
His face turns into very. It looks very elven, but he has human ears, and he has this long black hair just kind of pulled back. And on him are these long purple and black robes. And on the front of the robe, you recognize to be the symbol that many members of the Church of Giselle wear. And as what was formerly Bob finally comes and stands on his feet, he unsheathes the same sword that you saw Azael using. He just holds it out, and this purple glow begins to just wrap around it. He goes ahead and stabs it into Eileen, and her form begins to shrink into the form of an imp. And all around them, the temple begins to quake. The rocks are starting to fall down from the ceiling like rain. And you can see, in just mere seconds, the ground below them begin to crumble. And the person formerly known as Bob tosses the impish body of Eileen over his shoulder into this chasm below him. But he is floating over the chasm like there is no problem. He begins to float above everything, flying higher. And he watches, and you see, from almost as though you're watching from his eyes, as the rest of the world begins to crumble the same way, falling into an endless chasm. Just armies and armies worth of soldiers clashing and trying to retreat before falling into the chasm along with them. And you see the person formerly known as Bob looks to both his left and his right. And on both sides of him, you can see the forms of Cassie, of our Krampin, of Soren, of Posey, and of you. All of you with your eyes glowing bright red. And as you look at yourself, you just kind of smile, and you see blood beginning to trickle down out of your mouth and down your chin. And then the vision fades to darkness once more. And then when you open your eyes, you are back at the western entrance of Olympe, as though nothing had happened. And that's where we're going to take our break.
Beautiful.
Damn it.
I haven't even gotten to do anything this session, and you just pulled that entire thing out.
Oh, don't worry. We'll be getting to you.
Holy moly.
Don't worry. We will go ahead and reconvene at 10:45.
In the meantime, I realized what Posey is a combination of.
Oh my
Very nice.
gosh, yes.
I'll be back.
All right.
Oh my god.
I'm not wrong, though.
Right?
Why did she look familiar?
Britney Spears.
That's right. Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
Right. So good.
Dude. Okay, next time, like, we're in a bar, we're just gonna have Posey get up and start singing, Hit Me Baby one more time.
Oh, believe me, I am waiting for the chance to slip that into fights.
No, like, just straight up, just get up, like, the whole, like, doing the voice and everything.
I'll just
Like, trying to sing along with it.
What?
I'll just multi-class one level into Bard with her 17 charisma that I gave her, because why not?
Yes! That'd be amazing!
A barbarian?
Oh yeah, no, don't worry. We'll be getting to what you're
Oh my
doing soon.
god, no! Get out, leave.
Can I?
No.
Can I Jacob,
No, no, you cannot.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Jacob.
what?
Can we develop a barbarian that punches people with their voice?
Yes.
Okay, because that might be a thing.
Just don't say that combination word again. That was awful.
Barbarian!
No. That's so dumb. Oh my god.
You know you want it.
Yes.
I
of
do.
course.
That's
That's the thing.
keep in mind, an insane old man. I'd be right up there with you doing
Hell
backup.
yes.
Yes.
Turn on my echo for.
Oh no, now I'm just imagining freaking Posey and our Krampin singing on stage.
Dude,
That's
I
a
don't-
recipe for disaster if I've ever heard one.
like when you were explaining like the part when it came to Bob like being like resurrected, I'm like dude, like like you need like demonic chanting. Like I turned on my phone, started just try to go along with the singing. Yeah, all I was missing was like the demonic like ritualistic chanting.
There's not really a need for ritualistic chanting because Bob is not a demon.
Well, he's hell spawn.
Not really. Dude, like, remember I was talking about how the robe he was wearing had the symbol of Giselle on it.
time is game starting on Friday?
8:30 as well.
Okay. For some reason, I thought it was a really good idea to schedule a sunrise hike Saturday morning.
Oh boy.
That's a good idea to begin with.
Me, because watching the sunrise over the Rogue River is super, super fun, but
Fair point.
I also did not take into account that I would probably be going to bed late the night before, so this is gonna be fun. This is fine.
Well, then again, I'm like, getting up before the sun does should be a crime.
Yeah, we're leaving Grand's Pass at 4:30.
Oh, that's right.
So what are people playing for Friday's game?
I know
I
that.
don't think I'll be participating in that one.
Yeah, and I know that. I don't know if. Wait, yeah, no, Brennan's joining. He's actually playing a character from the books that he's writing based in this world. And
The Last Follower.
yeah, and Kayla won't be joining either because she's already running her own game on Saturday. On top of our Thursday game and this one on Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah. What? You mean
It's on
she
Sunday.
doesn't want to try and play a game every night of the week like I do?
It's Sunday.
Oh, Sunday, yeah, sorry. Honestly, I'm very unprepared for Friday's game, but, like...
Honestly, sometimes that works out okay. Like,
yeah, that's why I'm not super worried about it. Like, I have a... Like, it's... I have a feeling it's very much going to be like a fugitive campaign, considering it's all about opposing like, the law and stuff. So I want to start it out with, like, with, like, some sort of infiltration thing.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
Wait.
Wonder how Brennan's character will play into that, because he's playing like a protagonist from his book, and I don't know him as well as I should, considering his series is a spin-off of my book series, but
Yeah.
still, we'll see.
I just gotta say, I thought it was so freaking funny how, like, whenever he needed to, like, to defend himself or attack, he'd just roll, like, fucking, like, awesome rolls. But the one time he needed to be smart and, like, no history about, like, Bob here, fucking nothing.
Yeah. No, he's not Bob, he is Kaiserial Almondrog.
Well, he's Bob anyway. Our grandpa calls him Bob, mostly because there's no way I'm gonna remember how to pronounce that. Unless I see it, like, written down a million times.
Oh yeah, no, that's how I got used to it. Oh boy. You're in for quite a struggle with this one.
Hey, we took down that one guy underleveled. We'll take down Bob.
I don't think it's going to be that easy.
So help me, he'll be back at the end of my staff, whether he's alive or dead.
How much
I am
longer
back.
are you thinking for a second session?
What?
How long are you thinking for the second half?
Hopefully not too much longer. I'm not quite sure how long, but we definitely need to like get to what Cassie's doing.
Okay.
So I'm thinking hopefully no longer than an hour.
Okay. I will try to stay awake.
All right.
I was going to say, I'm already over here failing at that almost.
Yeah.
I am so excited for the next part of my story arc.
Yes.
It's so good.
We'll all have everyone together again eventually. This is the first freaking night you guys are in this town, by the way.
Yeah, Azrael just needs to realize that he's not the one. But I can say, when you want to be the one, soon you start to realize that you're the only one.
I love that song so much.
I love that album so much. I love
Yes.
both of those albums so much.
I am going to actually put that on while we're Because we've still got a little bit before we start anyway, so you know what, screw it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to fucking listen to it.
Charlie the Unicorn.
You say that, and then you just freaking rickroll all of us and start playing.
You know, I would do that too.
Please do. It's not Rickroll if you love the song. I love that song.
It still counts because I like the song. I do
Yeah,
it to my-
exactly. So it's joke's on you.
I try to rickroll my brother like every year. All right, will this work?
Jacob, you remember when I left?
I'm sorry.
Were you were there when I quit Upserve, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yes.
For those who were not there, I printed out a massive quantity of little tiny Rick Astleys and taped them all over the entire team section that we had.
Yes.
Just goddamn everywhere. I think my favorite was I put one on the team leader's chair, but in the groin section, looking up at him from under the chair. That was fun.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
That's amazing. Respect.
So much fun.
Upsurf was terrible.
Bruh, no lie.
Oh, you're starting history repeating red.
Oh, of course. This is like my favorite one.
Yeah.
Probably because of this song, honestly. And I'm Not the Brakeman. That's a fantastic.
Yeah, those two are great. I think. Oh god, one of my favorites has to be the Haystack Principle.
Yes. That song's so deep.
It's
heavy.
it's
too.
grand.
Yeah.
Charlie.
I'm not falling asleep. You're fine.
Your light is going out on me.
I love that melody so much.
Dude, this song sounds like it'd be awesome while playing Beat Saber.
Dude.
All of their songs would
Yes.
be awesome playing Beat Saber.
I would love, like, I honestly, if they put these songs on Beat Saber, I would buy that, like, in an instant.
Yeah, but this is just the Mega's version of the stage select theme in Mega Man 3.
Yes, the freaking Mega Man 3 menu music is so good. And they just make it even better.
For real. They do the same thing with Castlevania music. Their version of Wicked Child is one of my favorite songs.
Oh my gosh, that song's so good.
That one's in their Skulls album.
Yeah. And I also really like their Storm Eagle song.
Loaded gun.
Uh-oh, the stream disconnected. Whatever.
I wish I could figure out what the hell was going on with my fucking computer because I looked at everything.
Right?
And it pissed me off because it said, oh, the device is working fine. I'm like, yeah, is it? Oh, I can hear that better now.
Yeah, I just turned up the volume. This is only 15%. Like, the music on here can get really loud.
Humanity is not what it seems. That's reality takes my darkest dreams. I can fly on a dog.
So good.
I love this song so much.
Right? Yeah. Oh, is the internet just being dumb in general? Aw.
Watch one, you have to watch another.
Jacob, you there?
Oh yeah, I'm here now. Our internet's being really dumb right now.
Whack.
Did you hear my Bruce Stu joke?
I did not.
Oh, well, he said you have to play like a certain song directly after the one that just played. And
Yeah.
like, it's like saying it's like saying it's like saying you have to watch another Bruce Stu video after watching
Wait.
one. Because every time you watch a Bruce Stu, you have to watch another one.
Put on I'm Not the Brakeman. Do it!
Alright, hang on. Everything's being all dumb for me.
Into the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Alright, let's do this. You said I'm not the brakeman, right?
Yes.
Alright.
Best mega song in the universe.
I couldn't agree more.
White peacocks fighting for dominancy. It shows a picture. It looks like the art of a Final Fantasy cover. It's so fucking true.
Yes. I love this song.
Right? Mm-hmm. And then after this song, we'll go ahead and continue.
I really love how clever Crash Bandicoot 4 is. Like, it's about time, and that's great. So self-absorbed.
This is the freaking get equipped thing. They make this song so good.
Dude, how have I never heard this song before?
I've tried to show you.
You have?
Yeah. I've tried to show you the megas, but we were doing stuff. Last time I was over.
Oh, yeah, we kept... Yeah.
This song's great.
Like, dude, no, I never heard this. You ever play that you think someone's standing in your door frame and then you look up, no one's there, and you realize it's just your hair in your face?
I can relate.
It's like only like one strand because like your hair is...
my chest to you. I'm not broken, I'm not the break man.
This song describes Proto Man so well.
I was the first, I am the Proto Man. They lost me, forgot me, made you from parts of me. If you're the one, my father's son, then what am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to be?
Wow, that cut out big time for me.
Oh man, that song always fucking chokes me up.
Right? It's amazing.
Oh, it's so good.
Dude, that's great.
And like,
I love their music so much.
same here. Oh my gosh, and it's like,
How? I don't understand. I've heard that before. That was great.
and that's-
Next
that's
time I
freaking
come
Mega Man.
over, not only are we playing each other's Mario Maker levels, but we're also going to listen to some Mega's albums.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, let's definitely
Yes.
do that. Also, Joe, have you seen the new trailer for Melody of Memory?
Yeah, and I'm gotta say, I'm not a fan of it.
I can see. Yeah,
They just keep releasing shit like that, and it's like, in my opinion, they're like off-brand. Like, in my opinion,
Mhm.
because it's something that's not good combat. It's just a side thing. Like, you know,
Yeah,
like the
it's-
mobile. It's like an off thing. It's like a
Well,
one-off. Or like,
I kind of
it's-
see it more like a just a Kingdom Hearts version of the Persona dancing games.
Mhm.
Right, but the thing is that they're including like necessary information in those games. But I'm like, I don't want to play those games. I want to play games like 1, 2, and Birth by Sleep and fucking
Just like the
Dream Drop
mobile
Distance.
games.
Those are fun. I don't like mobile games. I hate them. They're not real games. It's just I have no fun with them. So like I don't have the time to put into them.
I mean, you gotta at least get excited for more story.
Yes, I am. I'm just gonna do how I'm doing with Union Key, and just when it's finally finished, I'm gonna just watch the cutscenes because holy shit.
Yeah.
And that
Oh, yeah.
and that Union Key was released in like fucking 2018,
hmm
and it's still going.
Yep.
And I'm
All
like,
right.
dude. And there's still so much that's being told, and there's so much that's being released. But I just want another action game. 3 was fun, but it was not enough.
All right, we should continue this thing before we all pass
Sorry.
out.
Yeah, it's getting quite
Yeah,
late.
sorry. I could talk about that all night.
Oh, you know. No, don't worry.
Oh, yeah.
I get it. All right, so going ahead and circling back, we finally come back to you, Cassie. Now, while all of this has been going on, you've just been kind of laying in your room in the King's Rest, the fancy inn that you found yourself at when you were looking for a place to stay. And everyone else kind of split off, and as far as you know, they just kind of went and did their own thing. And you've just been kind of laying here this entire time and just enjoying your room in this really comfortable bed, and just like the scent of lavender coming fresh off the sheets. And as you've been sleeping, you've been enjoying a surprisingly peaceful sleep for the first time in what feels like a long time since you've been on the road. And you lay there for what feels to be about 2 or so hours before you're finally woken up by a knock at the door, and I'd knock, but my desk is all covered. But yeah, there we go. That works. So you hear a knock at the door, and your sleep is interrupted.
Everyone's just banging on shit.
I'll just get up and go answer.
All right. You open the door up, and in front of your room is this well-dressed soldier, not necessarily wearing any armor, but you can tell they're soldiers because they're wearing the gray coats of the Washork military. And
Oh, no, they're
Don't trust them!
and he kind of bows and he goes, "You must be Lady Cassie, is that correct?"
I kind of like look outside the door. I'm like, yes.
Oh yeah, glancing at the door, it's quite late. You don't see anyone else outside their room or anything. And he nods and he goes, "Right, I was told to deliver this to you. I do apologize it's so late in the night, but, well, some urgent matters came up regarding one of your friends, and this came from another one of your friends. So, again, my apologies. Feel free to read and continue to rest if you so decide." And he goes ahead and hands you the paper and turns back around and begins walking out of the hallway.
Friends, what are those? And I open the paper.
All right, here I'll go ahead
Try
and
to read it.
send you what you find inside.
Friends, what are those?
No, no one got the Friends theme song. Fine then.
I'm too tired to pick up on any jokes right now, to be honest. And all my focus is being put into this, to be honest. Trying to pay attention. You guys' parts was funny, and I think that took a lot of energy away from it. It was either one, very interesting, or two, very hilarious. So I have no energy whatsoever. And of course, it's my turn.
It takes energy to be funny. You gotta think. And even sometimes not thinking, you still gotta process.
Oh no. Well, I knew, but
Yeah.
oh. Okay, I'll note that later because I won't. My brain's not gonna be able to handle that.
Oh, yeah,
After reading the note, I kind of like face palmed. I'm like, of course, and I'm like, it's like, it's like the middle of the night, right?
Yeah,
now,
it's
right?
it's approaching midnight-ish at this point.
It's probably best to go get him now.
So do you?
I want to leave, and we're gonna go get our Brandon.
All right. So you go ahead and
Yay!
you go ahead and head out of the inn, and as you're passing by, there are multiple housekeepers and chefs kind of retiring for the night, kind of giving you a nod as you pass by. Go ahead and make an investigation check, so you can try to figure out where exactly our Crampton is going.
Ooh, 19.
Ooh, all right. So
And that's not that damn good.
that's a pretty good roll.
That was
So-
straight 19.
As you're actually heading out of the inn, you manage to catch up with the Greycoat who delivered the note to you. You kind of tap him on the shoulder and ask him to directions, and he goes, yes, they are bringing him to the second floor of Olympe, as a matter of fact. They have holding cells up there, and they're planning on holding a bit of a trial there. And if he has any friends in town, they are asking if they may be present for the hearings. It's not a requirement, but it is recommended for your friend's sake. And he's like, I could guide you there if you wish. or if you have any other friends in town that may need to show up, if they may help, we can go ahead and look for them as well.
You know what? No, I'm gonna go. Just me.
Just you? Alright. So,
Maybe my royalty card will play more. Like,
alright.
I get.
Is
Five
your
bullets.
character just pretty much like Toph?
I don't know who that is.
Oh my. Just continue. That's too long. That's too long of a conversation.
Oh, fun times. Alright.
Avatar. Just move on.
Alright.
That does nothing for me. So. Someone sounds very angered that I don't know.
No, I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
I'm not mad, just disappointed, like my father.
Like there's just like a wave of just disappointment. Just
Disappointed.
such a good quality.
Alright.
Disappointed!
Yes, there we go. Alright, so, Cassie, you go ahead and the Greycoat kind of begins leading you through the town. He quickly calls over a carriage, pays the fee for both of you, and begins taking you to the northwest section of town. And as you are heading that way, you can actually see a number of Greycoats emerging from this large 3-storied building with like all sorts of lights on it. And coming from where you are, it's like the idea of a building being run by this much electricity doesn't seem as foreign to you as it may to others, but you see all these Greycoats around this casino, and you begin heading out of the western entrance of town. The ride takes about 15 minutes. It's not super long of a ride. Outside, aside from torchlights kind of guiding the road into the land of endless snow outside, it's pretty pitch black. Snow is still kind of gently falling and kind of melting near the torches. But outside, you can actually see Matthias laying in the snow, kind of holding a crystal in his hand.
I want
Is he hugging a snowman?
to call to the. I want them to like pause the carriage for a moment,
Easy enough.
and then like I tell them I'll be back, and then I want to go out to Matthias and like check and see what's up.
Alright, so you go into the snow, and you approach Matthias, and Matthias, you are awake at this point. You've just been kind of laying there, and you look in your hand, and you can see the black crystal is still there. But Azael and this figure who dressed himself as Kaiseriel are nowhere to be seen.
Question.
Hmm?
I don't know if this is like, cause like it, this question comes from like the knowledge of the books. How come Matthias isn't getting all like possessed and shit?
That
Or
is.
like
There
the
are-
fucking like the
That's a very spoilery
Yeah, that's
question. you're
that's
asking there.
spoiler territory, man.
Spoilers.
I was like, I'm like, what happened to the second book?
Just remember, Kita is not an inherently bad god.
Exactly.
Just as Giselle is an inherently good god.
All right.
And so, you...
Spoilers.
Every god has
Continue.
their extremists.
Exactly. And then, so yeah, you go ahead and approach Matthias, and you go ahead and see the crystal at his hand.
Do I know what he's holding? Like
Go ahead and
you-
make a history check, or a religion check.
I think I'm good at that. This is my good die.
This is my good die.
This is my good die. 8.
Yeah, you see that you do sense kind of a, like, an aura about this crystal that it does not look like just any regular rock, but you don't know enough to understand what this is.
Okay. It was more so of like to know whether or not to completely approach him yet.
Oh, okay, yeah. Not, oh, so yeah, you don't feel anything dangerous about it.
Okay. Are you alive?
I am, in fact.
Well, we kind of have a problem, and we need to go pick up a friend. And you should probably come.
That would be a good idea, yes. I'd put the crystal in my, I guess,
Satchel.
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess. I was just gonna, like, yeah.
Mhm.
Whatever.
In my bag. It's
Yeah.
now in my inventory.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry. We get it. There, no need to worry about technicalities there. So
Hey, Dan, look down.
And then,
Do you have an inventory space?
yeah, once he's
I
like,
do, and I'm adding it right now, to be honest.
oh yeah, and don't worry. We'll dive more into what having the black crystal on you will do later on.
yeah, once he literally collects himself.
Well, I want to reread the books now.
Once he collects himself, I'll lead him back to the carriage.
All right. So, and Matthias, do you follow her to the carriage?
Absolutely.
All right. So you go ahead and follow her to the carriage, and she goes ahead and introduces you to the Greycoat, and you're familiar with Greycoats since they're like the main military force of Olympe. And he just kind of greets you with a friendly smile and a nod, and he goes, "Are you friends with the crazy old man as well?"
I just glare at him as I step in the carriage.
All right.
That's a yes.
Am I within earshot?
Oh no, you're.
You're not here.
No, yeah, you've been.
No, you're at the casino,
Yeah.
my
Or
friend.
no, you're not at the casino.
no.
You've been taken away.
I'm getting hauled off to jail.
Oh, right.
Yep. That's what this whole thing's about. And
I said
Yeah.
I said we're going to get a friend. A friend.
Yep. And then, so you go ahead and hop in, and the Greycoat goes ahead and pays the fee for you as well. And the carriage driver's like, all right. And he goes ahead and snaps the reins, and the horse kind of begins to head a little to the north. And on the northern wall out of this western entrance of Olympe, you see a path kind of begin to turn into an upward ramp and beginning to kind of crawl up along the edge of the wall. And the horse is able to traverse this with ease. And you guys all kind of sink into the back of your seats, like just kind of going up the steep uphill climb.
Roller coaster.
And after about another 5 minutes of riding, the carriage finally stops at this arched doorway leading to the second floor of the massive city of Olympe. And the Greycoat gets out and kind of gives the carriage driver a nod and a wave, and he goes, "All right, out this way."
Ooh, follow after.
All right, you follow after him, Matthias.
I do as well.
All right, sounds good.
No, I would stay in the carriage.
You just you cross your arms and you're just like, no, and then he's like, oh, come on, I'll give you ice cream if you get out.
We gotta make
Do
the
it
story
for a skinny
progress.
snack.
Just poke me with a sharp stick. Come on, get out of there.
Yeah,
I'm joking. I just
no, I get it. So you go ahead and follow out, and
Skinny snack.
and immediately walking into the second floor of Olympe, you can tell there is a huge class difference between the first and second floor. Like these floors are all made out of very well polished marble. There's no loose grass or dirt on the ground like there was on the first floor. The entire place has this scented candle smell almost. Like you can smell various whiffs of lavender or daisies and roses and just all these different smells. And all around, you can see people dressed in large fur coats walking around, people in very thin suits, with stripes all along them. You can see gray coats pacing about back and forth. And you can see even some merchants wearing foreign clothing that you haven't really seen before. You can see they're kind of wearing like tanned leather berets, and they're wearing shirts that seem to only have one sleeve, and also all manner of strange clothing. But looking at this place, you can see that this is absolutely where the nobility of Olympe live, and it is very heavily guarded. And the greatcoat with you goes ahead and gestures for you two to follow, and he goes, "The holding cells are this way, and this is where we'll be holding the trial. Is there anything about your friend we should know before beginning?"
He can be very interesting sometimes, but it's nothing is ever, with
His,
evilish intent.
his ends always justify his means.
Both of you go ahead and make perception checks. And he's laughing.
Also, during this whole time, Matthias
persuasion.
is visibly uncomfortable.
That's totally understandable. He's where the rich people live.
Freaking things are cramping as an end to his means. He just does things just be.
I got
Yeah, but he always gets results.
Nice. Wait, what'd you get?
12.
Alright, cool. And
26.
alright.
Dude, that's
well.
just fucking coincidence. Like fucking. Like how just take. Never mind, just continue.
Alright, so as you go ahead and talk, the gray coat just goes, I guess I can understand. But still, well, you'll find out during the trial. And he goes ahead and walks further into the crowd. You two continue following?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what did we do the perception checks for?
Oh, no, they were persuasion.
Persuasion.
Yeah, persuasion.
I thought you said perception.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been the same thing.
Okay, fair enough. They were persuasion checks.
I have +5 modifiers on both.
That makes sense. Alright.
And I'm proficient in both.
Fair enough. Alright.
It would have definitely mattered for me, though. Between the two.
Oh, yeah.
Shenzi, get down. You bad cat.
Yes, you.
This is the perfect music for this.
Right?
I know, right? Like, dude, lately, Potassium knocking it out of the park with the excellent music choices.
This song is literally called The Trial, by the way. Alright, so, as you guys... Brennan, you know this. This song is actually based after the Pink Floyd song. Yeah. Which I absolutely love. I love that song so much. But, so you guys go ahead and follow this greycoat into this massive crowd of nobles and other greycoats. And walking inside, you can see our Krampin kind of standing at the forefront of everyone with his hands kind of bound with this rope. And beside him, you can see this really buff goblin just standing there, and she's just kind of hanging out, not really worried, while our Krampin's just standing there with the greycoat behind him. And you can see up front, there's like this podium where there's an empty seat, and two greycoats wearing long, verdant capes behind them, which, Matthias, you would know. These are very high-ranking greycoats that wear these capes, and they're just standing there at the front of the podium. And as you guys go in, the greycoat kind of nods towards our Krampin and goes, "Well, there's your friend. Feel free to talk to him before the trial begins." And he goes ahead and backs off with the rest of the greycoats in the crowd. So what do you two do?
Wait. One more time, where? Okay, I get the scene, but are we with the two of them now?
Kind of. You're in a crowd, and they're just a little ahead of you.
Oh, I thought I was like in a cell or something.
Oh, not quite. They're just going to discuss it before deciding to hold you.
So
I guess I'll go ask our Crampon what the hell he did this time.
All right, so you go ahead and walk up behind our Crampon. You go and ask that, and our Crampon.
You know what? What do you think I did this time? Can you guess? Can you guess? Can you guess this time?
I
I
walk up
think I have a
behind
pretty good idea.
you. I walk up behind
That's
you.
right. I was selling drugs again.
And you
Not
say
so loud.
you say that very loud, like the immediate crowd around you just falls silent. And they're all staring at you.
No.
I just like flick
Yeah.
them. I like
Why don't
flick
you
them
say
in
it
the
a
back
little
of their
louder? I
head.
don't think the judge heard you.
I flick them in the back
Oh,
of their
hey,
head.
Judge, would you like some as well?
All right, go ahead. I think you might need to speak a little louder. I don't know if the mic's fully picking you up.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Mm.
Oh no, I was talking about Kayla because we're sharing a mic.
Mm.
All right, and then that being the case, is there anything you want to do?
Oh no, I'm good.
Okay. And so now the three of you are together and you're just kind of standing here, and after about 5 minutes, 10 minutes of waiting, about 15 minutes now, the crowd is kind of dispersed and are leaving the courtroom now. But as they are, you can see a door to your guys' northeast, or to the northeast of you guys. And you can see this kind of short, rounded man with a long hair, kind of thinning on the hairline, but it's pretty long behind him, and it's black with like streaks of silver, and he's wearing this very formal gray suit, and he's kind of walking with this cane. He has this almost a handlebar mustache going below his chin, and he walks up to the front of the podium, and Matthias, you recognize this to be the regent of the nation, or rather what he prefers to call himself, Chancellor Anthony Guinness.
Oh, wonderful.
He walks up to the podium and he just kind of looks around at the crowd, and he looks at Matthias and at Posey, and he just goes, like his eyes are all squinted, and he goes, "The fuck did you guys do?"
Like I was just in the wrong room at the wrong time.
Everyone says that. And you? And he goes ahead and looks at our Crampon.
Oh, I was, caught red-handed selling drugs. Would you like some?
Go ahead and make a persuasion check with a disadvantage.
I will happily do that.
Please, for the love of God, I rolled.
Natural 20. Natural 20.
Both times,
Come on,
please.
baby.
Nothing I said, like I put in. So I didn't walk over. I'm not over with them.
Okay, so you're still kind of hiding in the crowd. Okay.
Ooh, okay, 17 was the first one.
Ooh.
But disadvantage. That's
Oh, and then the natural 20, so no matter what, if I add, it's
Mm.
gonna be good. Alright,
That's a
hold on,
good roll, yeah.
persuasion, plus 6, and then 17. Yeah, that's like 24.
Jesus.
Oh no.
So the
I don't know if
chance,
that's a good thing or a bad thing, though.
the Chancellor, he just kind of looks at you and he goes, sure. And then one of the Greycoats goes like,
Yes!
and then the Chancellor's like, no, that's what this whole fucking thing's about. These guys, and he goes ahead and points to the Greycoats and the verdant capes. He's like, they fucking woke me up over this. Are you really
Oh,
here?
you bastards!
Are you really here because you sold fucking drugs?
Yes! Now could you untie me?
And he like plops down on the chair behind the podium, and he like kind of leans his head against his hand, and he goes, "Yes, untie the man." And the Greycoats go ahead and untie your hands, and you're still holding your staff, but the milk has since spilled out.
God damn it!
Oh no.
That was A's gift to me!
And the Greycoat behind you is like, "Who's A?"
That is an excellent question. He's this other Minotaur speaking dude that I know.
And then, like, people are kind of laughing a little bit at the fact that the Chancellor almost accepted your drugs. And
Hey, he should have accepted my drugs.
and the Chancellor, he's just kind of looking at you guys in the crowd, and he goes, "Are all of you, what's the F word? Friends?"
What's the F? F is for friends who burn down the fire.
Posey says, "Absolutely," and just like grabs as much of the party in her arms as she can.
Easy enough. You're able to go. You're able to like. Cassie isn't with you guys. She's kind of hiding in the crowd. But you're able to. You're able to pull Matthias and our Crimpin, and you even manage to grab an arm of a Greycoat to the left of Matthias, and you pull them in, and you guys are all just being squeezed by this gargantuan goblin.
And Matthias has never met Posey, so he's like, what the fuck is this?
Guys, I met a new friend! Secret weapon!
And then
Yes, I'm very good at secrets.
And she flexes.
and you guys just
She kicked my ass!
And then one of the Greycoats, like behind you, is just no surprise there.
Excuse you?
And like as you do, he just kind of widens his eyes and backs off. And then the
Yes, what I thought!
And then the Chancellor is looking at you guys, and he said, "I see 3 here. Weren't there supposed to be 4 with you?"
Where's the blind one?
And the guard.
Where's the blood?
and Cassie, you actually see the Greycoat that guided you and Matthias here. He turns towards you and he goes, "Oh, sorry. She was right here." And he goes ahead and walks out. Like, you'd been kind of hiding behind him, but now he's just kind of revealed you to the crowd. And, so what do you do?
I go, "I am that 4th member you may have been, thinking about. Maybe. Possibly." And then I kind of just, like, step forward.
Alright.
Sniff his balls.
What? Alright.
You're not our cramping, what?
I don't know, I couldn't resist. I tried. I tried for like 5 seconds, it didn't work.
What the fuck? That was so out of nowhere.
That's what makes it so good.
What?
Alright, so as you go ahead and walk forward, the Chancellor tilts his head and goes, "Alright, I see." And now, like, his eyes are actually open now. And he goes, "Well, procedures and all that shit. You, the dude with the blonde hair, with the just very uncomfortable look on your face. What's your name?" And he's looking at you, Matthias.
Oh, Matthias is brown hair.
Oh, did I say blonde?
Yes, you did.
Oh, sorry, I meant brown.
You described actual Brian.
I literally said
Yeah.
brown hair in my head, but it came out as blonde, and I don't even know why.
Yeah. Alright, I believe we've met before. I'm Matthias.
He kind of, like, his mouth kind of opens up a little bit, and he goes, You'll have to pardon my memory. It's kind of shit. I've been getting too old. Matthias, he kinda,
You're one to talk!
Yeah, how's young Nicky?
And he like his eyes open up, and he goes, "You know Nick?"
Yeah, I've been around.
And the Chancellor kind of leans forward, and he goes, "Well, I wouldn't know. I haven't seen the kid in like 3 decades."
Oh, guess it has been that long.
Yeah. And he goes, I mean, if you were a friend of my son, then you're a friend of mine. Don't worry. It's nice to meet you, Matthias. You look like a good guy, even if you are very uncomfortable here. And then, you! Crazy old dude with
Way
a
to
glass
call
of
him
empty
out.
milk. Wait, what?
No, I was just like, wow, way to call him out.
And then, our company points at you, and he goes, "You, cool guy. What's your name?"
Yes! I am our Krempen Warlock, good sir.
And then as you say your name, you kind of hear people begin to murmur and like say, "Raven Warlock? Like what?" And the Chancellor, his mouth is agape again, and he goes, "The fucking Warlock named Warlock selling drugs?" And he kind of looks at you with like one eyebrow down, the other raised.
You can't make this shit up, can you?
And he just shakes his head and he's like, "Apparently not." And then,
The irony of the situation, because we are making this shit up.
right? And then he's like, "You, the big green one, what's your name?"
I'm Posey the Bone Break.
And then, like, the moment you say your name, his face lights up and he's like, "Oh shit, how did I not know you? You're fighting tomorrow, aren't you?"
Yeah.
And then
You
he just
bet
like,
I am.
he's like, "Oh hell yeah, I got my money on you. You better not fucking lose tomorrow. You got it?"
I didn't get my nickname for nothing, sweet cheeks.
He's like, "Fuck yeah." And then
My
finally,
money's on her as well.
well, it better be. She kicked your ass today.
Well, yeah, have you seen his arms?
And she's gonna, if he lets her, pick one up and like kind of flip it around like a wet noodle. Be like,
He's got noodle arms.
Keep in mind, he's a frail old man, so he hasn't got much, like can't really fight it much.
Oh yeah. So as you actually raise his arm with the staff on it, and as you're waving it around, the glass comes loose out of the twine he had wrapped around it, and it flies and goes and hits one of the gray folks in the head. And then it just like, and then like in this silent room, we just hear as the glass shatters and falls on the ground.
I meant to do that.
No!
And then the Chancellor finally looks at you, Cassie, and he's silent for a moment before finally going, "And you, what's your name? Full name, if you wouldn't mind."
That's a really good question. Do I want... Oh my gosh, this is probably a really bad idea. Fuck it.
do it, do it.
We're gonna get
Knew it.
fucking arrested or some shit. We're gonna get arrested or some shit. Or killed.
I already am under arrest. I'm
No,
selling
you're
drugs here.
No. You're free now. You've been freed. You're on
Well, who's
good
to say he
time.
has? He's on. Like,
Yeah,
No.
I just
He's no
asked to
longer
be unbound.
But this might get all of us bound again.
Matthias just
fine.
doesn't
Fuck
even
it.
care because he is so fatigued because he went through a lot of shit and it's been a long time since he's had a drink.
Yeah, it is. It is about like it's almost 1 a.m. right now.
Yeah, we're about an hour and a half away.
I feel like lying is probably it.
Fine, who
Just
needs
as
to
bad
sleep?
because my character's not good at lying.
All right. So what are you gonna say? So you've been kind of standing here all silent for about a minute, and everyone's just kind of looking at you. And the Chancellor, he's like, he has his finger against his temple, and he holds out his hand, and he's like, "Well."
Well, you
Wow!
may know who I am.
And as you're saying that, he nods, but he doesn't say anything.
And I'm like, fuck it. And I stand up straight and I go, my full name is Cassandra Diallo. And then I'm like,
And the room has just gone completely silent at you saying your name. And the Chancellor nods and he goes, "I fucking called it. Why didn't you say you were in town? We haven't seen any of the rulers from the provinces in like a decade."
well, a decade ago, I wasn't very old, so I don't know what to tell you.
And the Chancellor's like, but your father wasn't. We saw him at least, like, 12 years ago.
12 years ago. Well, let's not talk
Meanwhile,
about the old man.
Kirby's just been here, just sitting here laughing to himself the entire time.
Makes sense. And the Chancellor's like, alright, but once we conclude this, I'd like to have a bit of a talk with you after, if you wouldn't mind staying behind.
Sure.
Alright, good.
Can... Never mind. I was gonna ask if I could
Oh, you can if you want.
Yeah, I do.
Alright, do it. Do it.
Do it. That's 18.
Alright, not bad. So, glancing at him, he doesn't seem hard to read. He seems just tired, but curious about your presence, and like you get the feeling that he's more confused than anything.
Okay. Just for good measure.
Yeah. And then with that, he clasps his hand together and he goes, well, I think I'm gonna fire some shitheads for waking me up for this trial. Crazy old guy. No more selling drugs, but you're welcome to come to the fight tomorrow. Let you in for free.
Yeah.
And
Yes!
you
High
Matthias.
five!
Okay.
All right.
Posey will full on high five him.
All right. You go ahead and high five him, and you like knock his arm like fully back, almost throwing our Krampin onto the ground with the impact.
Ah!
Yeah.
Now that's a high five! Take notes, others!
And then the Chancellor looks at Matthias and goes, if it's not too terrible of a problem, could you stay behind too? I'll get you drinks.
Please.
By the way, Mr. Chancellor, where were we on the you wanting drugs?
And like as you say that, his eyes kind of light up, like he glances at the graycoats next to him, and they're just glaring at him. And he goes, "Oh, these fuckers are fired tomorrow anyway. Come on, give them to me."
Yes!
And in the
There
middle,
you go, free on the house this time, there you go.
in the middle of this courtroom, you give the Chancellor, the ruler of the entire province, fucking drugs, and he gives you 300 gold in exchange.
Yeah!
This is the best campaign ever.
Oh my gosh.
We get
You
badassery
need to
and
fucking
ridiculousness in the same damn session.
There are literally ways that people describe movies that does not, it's actually the truth, but makes it sound like a totally different movie. I'm just gonna write this fan fiction about how Posey joined a drug gang.
Yes.
It's just, oh god.
I mean, in a way,
Oh
he
my
kind of did.
I don't sell drugs. Quite the opposite.
True. I mean, you're a cleric.
But
It's
I
like
mean, you're not trying to stop him. So
true.
That's because my character's not good with confrontation.
I wanted to take advantage of that fucking 24 for persuasion, so hell yes.
Yes, you earned quite a bit of money from it too.
Oh my god, that was
He's
fucking
earned quite a bit of money this entire time we've been in the city.
Yeah, he did. Although he did lose. Well, he didn't really lose a lot during the casino, but still.
I
It
just
went
won back
into
all the
pockets
money
of
and
a
then
different
some.
party member.
Alright, so with that, the Chancellor's like, alright, everyone but the princess and the thief guy are excused. And as he says that, everyone else kind of begins to peter out of the courthouse. And our Krampin and Posey, what do you two do?
Posey's probably gonna go back to the casino. I would assume that she probably has some kind of lodging deal for fighting there. kind of thing going on. So she's probably just going to go back to her room.
That totally makes sense. So yeah, you go ahead and head back to the casino and are cramping.
Let's see. So where are we right now?
Right now you're still in the courthouse, but like everyone's kind of leaving, and you're on the second floor of the city of Olympe. So this is where all like the nobles live and stuff.
Okay. Is there any like shops during?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Perception. Alright. Let's
I would
see.
say,
Perception.
technically, I'm the only person who has a room.
19.
Here.
So, looking around, you can tell this is far more of a residential area than a shop. Any of the shops you do come in contact with, the proprietors kind of turn you away just because of your appearance. Like, you can tell the shops here are definitely meant for the noble and the rich people to shop at, but a lot of the kinder people do tell you of a number of shops on the first floor, including a magic shop, which does kind of pique your interest.
Yes, I would like to go there.
Alright, so with that, you go ahead and take a carriage back to the first floor of Olympe and begin heading towards the shop. But before that...
At 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, at 1 o'clock in the morning, he's just gonna go to the...
I will wait outside until they open.
Alright, and
I don't need sleep. I'll just meditate.
I mean, that's true.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Alright. So, let me see here. Alright. And as everyone is kind of heading out of the courtroom, Cassie and Matthias, you two are the only ones in here. And with everyone out of the courtroom, it kind of makes you realize how large this place is. Like, even the ground, it's just this big, empty box, essentially. There are no seats for anyone to sit down in. There's, like, one single circular stained glass window viewing nothing in particular. You can just see candlelight on the hallway across from the window, basically. So you can just gather that that's just for decoration purposes. But at the podium, you can see the Chancellor kind of looking at the drugs our Crampin sold him, and he stares at two greycoats with the verdant capes, and he goes, "You guys, fucking out. Get out." And the two greycoats just, they glare at him. Then they turn towards you two, glare at you guys. One of them gives the finger to Matthias, and then goes ahead and walks out of the courtroom, slamming the door shut loudly behind them. And
Oh damn it! I was half hoping that Matthias would break his finger.
oh, well, they were a little far away from that. They're about like 15 feet away.
Hmm.
But as they go ahead, oh yeah.
Matthias would just roll his eyes because he's so used to greycoats being assholes.
Yeah. And with that, the Chancellor stuffs his drugs into like the inside pockets of his cloak, of his suit, and he walks towards the two of you and goes, "Well, you guys are very unexpected visitors." And as he's walking towards you guys, he is definitely shorter than you, Matthias, and he's surprisingly shorter than you as well as he walks up towards you. And
I'm like 5'3".
yeah, he's a short old man, and he's just kind of holding his walking stick in his hand, and he goes, "Well, come on, let's go to my chambers. I can get us all drinks, and we can go ahead and discuss this." And do you guys go ahead and follow him?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. So you two go ahead and follow the Chancellor, and walking through the second floor of Olympe is an odd experience. Like, Cassie, to you, a lot of it does feel familiar, having lived the way you have in the past, but Matthias, to you, this is basically uncharted territory of nothing but rich people and jerks, if those can even be categorized as different things. And
Shade, bro.
And the Chancellor goes ahead and takes you into a large wooden double door, leading into a what appears to be a bedroom that spreads out even wider than the courtroom. It spreads about 20 feet. He's got like a bed way in the left corner and like a dresser next to it, but then and under it is like a tile floor, but then the floor splits off and becomes kind of a hardwood floor after that, leading into the Chancellor's own personal bar and restaurant kind of setup. And there's no one working it, but he goes ahead and gestures for you two to sit down, and he goes behind the bar and he goes, "All right, what do you two want? It's on the house."
Nothing too heavy or anything. It's pretty late. Maybe just a glass of milk.
All right, got it. And what about you, Matthias?
The exact opposite for me, please.
Alright.
The exact.
The hardest fucking shit I can make, you got it. And he is kind of smiling as he's doing so. And as he's making drinks, Matthias, go ahead and make a perception check.
Was that directed at me?
Yeah, perception.
Okay. 18.
Ooh, yeah, okay, so he goes ahead and he, easily enough, pours the glass of milk for you. And while he's mixing your drink, you actually see him pour a bit of the drugs that our Krampin sold him into your cup. And he does the same for his. And he goes ahead and sets it down in front of you. And he goes ahead and he drinks the whole thing in one go, slams the cup down, and immediately kind of gets the jitters. And he's like, "Wow, your friend has some good shit."
Damn right.
I'm not sure what to do. Because on one hand, there's alcohol in front of me. On the other hand, it is drugged.
And
In a third hand, it was handled by me.
That's true.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna down it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been through a lot. You kind of this thought process going through your head, and
I need some damn sleep.
yeah, you're like, "I've had enough of this. Here we go." You go ahead and down it, and you immediately, as it goes into your system, you kind of feel the jitters too, and then after that, not really anything else quite yet, but you do feel the alcohol kind of settling into your system.
Oh no,
And-
not quite yet.
And then the Chancellor, he kind of leans forward, and he looks at you, Cassie, and he goes, "You know, I haven't seen your dad in what feels like ages. How's he been doing?"
I take a slight sip of my milk, and then hearing the words of him him talking about mentioning my father once more, I go, the old man could be better.
He nods and he goes, "Yeah, I remember when he married that one crazy lady he called his wife. I didn't think it was too good of an idea at the time. The person he was with beforehand was perfectly fine, but I don't know. He told me that she passed away or something, and I don't know. I guess I don't know what to think about a lot of this." And he goes in and he starts pouring himself another drink, and he just says, "It's been a long time since the provinces actually got to meet. I still remember the days when King Nor and Queen Mavis were here. They were pretty adamant about holding meetings, especially after the, I don't know if you were around for it, but we had this big fight between Olivia and Mashorik, and, well, my son Nick, apparently Matthias here knows him, and he goes and gestures towards Matthias. He's like, well, my son was possessed by some demon? I don't know what you'd call him. Does the name Bartholomew Cadence ring a bell to either of you?"
No.
Fucking course it does.
I just shake my head.
Alright.
No.
And He goes, yeah, you might not have heard of him. It was he mostly liked to focus on the western provinces for whatever reason, but he possessed my son, convinced me to invade Orlivia a second time after I already tried in 1806 for whatever goddamn reason. I thought it would be a good idea to try again. And
Oh shit! I think I just realized who the fuck we're talking to.
yeah, the Chancellor, like the Chancellor. Like,
yes! That just made this way better!
I'm really surprised you didn't pick up on that sooner.
Like, I just thought it was like a different Chancellor in the one.
No,
of the
he
provinces.
mentioned his name, Anthony Guinness.
Yeah, and Chancellor Anthony Guinness. He was like a big character in the
Sorry.
series.
Took me a second.
Sounds
Oh
like
my god, that just made that so much better.
Yeah, that's why like we mentioned like his son Nick, like Nicholas.
I know.
Matthias just looks ahead and mutters, with my luck, I'll be next.
And as you say that, the Chancellor goes, "What do you mean by that?"
Never mind. And I
What?
kind of reach my hand under my satchel and just rub my thumb on the crystal.
Makes sense. Go ahead and make a deception check.
Deception? Oh,
my
wonderful.
character doesn't
That's
know what
another
he's
thing I'm
talking
super
about.
proficient in.
What?
My character also Does
Sort
not
of
know.
knows. Oh, it does not
he
know.
doesn't
Okay.
know. She doesn't know what he's talking about.
All right, that makes sense.
I mean, I know. but
That's a 23.
Damn. All right.
what the fuck?
Yeah, right. And
Rogues.
rogues, man.
You know what? We're the complete opposite.
So
I picked a very high stat for my charisma.
yeah, I can
Can't
tell.
say the same.
And with that, the Chancellor just kind of drops it and he goes, "Yeah, well, after all that happened, and I found out that my son was apparently this Bartholomew guy, I caved. I learned that my son was dead, which surprised me."
Pronounced a dead man.
You're never pronounced a dead man, yes. I actually just finished editing that part when editing the book, by the way. But anyway.
Yes!
Anyway, he turns towards you, Matthias, and he goes, "That's why I was surprised when you knew him. How do you know Nicky? He's been dead since then."
It's, I wouldn't really call it knowing him.
He nods
But
and
it's
he's,
a very, very long story.
like, "I understand. Weird shit's happened since that kid Chris came into play. Like, I don't even know. But regardless, that's all water under the bridge. The whole point is, after that, Nor and Mavis wanted to hold meetings with the province. The provincial meeting hall was built out in somewhere. I need to look at my map. Yeah. It was Milt. That's a word. It was built in the deserts of Flariok. And every couple years, all the leaders of the provinces would get together and just meet and discuss the happenings about the province. But I don't know, after Yorjun invaded, I guess Nor, Mavis, and their son Xander were murdered. And then poor Garen and Lenora had to step up. And he looks at you guys and he goes, "Have either of you heard anything from Garen or Lenora? Just out of curiosity."
About that.
Wait. No.
I haven't personally, no.
That's understandable. And he goes and he downs his drink again, and he looks at you guys, and he turns towards you, Cassie, and just goes, "So, what is going on in Ishtorai? Why have communications been interrupted?"
I take at this point, my my glass of milk is half full, not half empty. And I sigh again and I go, "Well, the woman that you said my father had married. My father is no more. She killed him.
And he's just silent for a moment, and he goes, wow. I knew that lady was crazy, but like, wow. So that would explain why I haven't seen him in a while. Is that why you're here and not actually at your home?
It's more so of a. I had to leave because she spread that I was the one who did it rather than her.
The Chancellor kind of nods and he goes, don't know why I didn't hear about any of this. I feel like I have soldiers all over the province, and they usually give me reports of this happening, but this is honestly the first time hearing about it.
Matthias butts in and says, maybe there's some fucker laughing his ass off shooting down ravens with a short bow.
And he goes, yeah, somewhere I'm sure. I don't know, but
Not even picking up the messages, just shooting them down.
it's possible. I feel like there's probably something going on. So I don't think it's coincidence that you two are here together. Someone here from Washorik and someone from Ishtorai. You guys part of any business going on right now?
What kind of business?
Well, I don't know, I guess I did receive word that a bunch of people from Olivia came after the attack there, which I did hear about, which I find strange that I heard about that, but nothing about the matters going on in Ishtorai. But I heard a bunch of people got off a train here, and from what I heard, it seems like you guys were all together. Are you all, like, part of some big group or something?
I don't know what I trust this guy.
More like a big group is part of us.
And he nods and he goes, I
You know what?
understand.
I'm just gonna let Matthias do what he's talking.
And with that, the Chancellor looks at you and he goes, alright, well, something tells me that there's something amiss, at least among the ranks of Olympe. If you guys have any particular leaders of the group or anything, could you let them know I want to talk to them? I just want to talk. It's nothing bad, I promise.
We'll do what we can.
Alright, thank you. And he goes ahead and like kind of starts making himself another glass, and he goes, alright, you guys are excused. And you, and he looks at Matthias and he goes, if you ever see my kid, tell him I said hi.
Will do. And I raise my glass and say, to death, the world's biggest illusion. And I down my drink.
And the Chancellor raises his glass and he's like, I fucking hear that! And he goes ahead and downs his drink as well. And with that, you guys go ahead and make your way out of the Chancellor's Hall. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Aww.
I would say it's like
It's almost midnight.
hell's late.
Yeah, we could absolutely go for longer, but everyone should sleep. I mean, I'm not going to sleep because I work graveyard and I stay up all night, but still.
I don't work until 11 a.m., so I'm usually up until 1 anyway.
Makes sense. But yeah, this story is definitely getting fun.
Yeah, and I'm getting better at, like, saying cool shit on the fly.
Yes, it's awesome. Friggin' your whole story arc is everyone, like, and I'm excited to see how Posey plays into things. But yeah, that's the whole, that's the whole thing. We actually planned ahead of time that, of saying Amelia wouldn't be able to make it. But that's because we're having her play as another character.
Does Soren still exist?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah, It's
But the letter that I got not only mentioned that our Krampin was arrested, it also mentioned that Soren had been taking her leave.
yeah, she decided to go off on her own and had some business of her own to attend to.
All right.
You might meet her again in the future, but for now, you have a very buff goblin in the party now. Alright, you guys are awesome, and I will see you next time.
See ya.